Well, I ended up having to do a two-parter on the Dashcam review because it turns out to run too long. I find that if the videos get too long, first, people don't want to watch them, but second off, it starts being very difficult to manipulate them and save them. It takes a long time to render them with software, and in fact, and I've had an error on me when I've gotten too big, so maybe when I get another computer with a lot more RAM and higher, faster processor, I'll try making a longer video. But for now, I'm going to split this video in half. It's going to be a little bit arbitrary where it splits, but it'll be nice. The first video will only really cover the G1WH model, which is what I bought in January. That was the $54 one, with a battery. I bought the G1W-C in June when I realized that it would be better to have separate dash cams for the motorhome and the car. So that's what I did. And I put the original in the motorhome because it doesn't get that hot in there. We're living in it. It doesn't have a big problem, while the C model with a capacitor will stay in the car, and that way the car can get very hot, and it's not going to affect the capacitor. The capacitors last just long enough for the last video to save properly, while the battery can last a few minutes. 20 minutes is what they say, but that doesn't seem to really last that long. After 10 minutes, the battery indicator is already yelling. So whenever I try to show off those two cameras without being plugged in, I use an external battery. It's not a big problem, but it's true. Next are a few short videos showing of near accident situations. People driving on the wrong side, so I had to stop. People passing stupidly. One video where at dusk I'm riding behind a motorcycle, flashes my light, and what you see is a dead deer on the side of the road and a live deer on the side of the road. So it was very useful. I realized I probably shouldn't do this, so yeah, don't look like I'm looking at the glasses. Kind of examples of the kind of things that could have actually been an accident that would have been saved. Useful information. These were all taken, some of these were taken around Monroe, Washington State, which is just east of Seattle, and some were taken between Olympia, Washington, and Aberdeen, Washington. And they're at least give you a feel for the kind of video you see. Dead deer and a live deer, but that dead deer was not killed. It looked like it had been a little bit of time. The other thing about these videos is that I've been playing with putting a review or something together for many months. I put an original video together in May, and then in June, and now it's July, and I think I'm finally going to. So you'll be seeing clips, you'll see pictures of me in different spots, at different times, different shirts, different campgrounds. You're seeing a lot of this campground because I'm putting a lot of stitching together video where I'm showing what is happening. So we'll see how well it works. It's an interesting problem. I decided I would do this review a while ago, and I'm finally getting to it. This is just trying to do a selfie with this camera itself to say, okay, you can use it as a small video camera. You can use it to selfie with. You could make videos with it, 1080p videos. It will actually work. It's a little complicated. There's no way to actually look at it. I'm trying to hold it up to tell what the photo looks like. You're just staring at a lens, trying to hope that it's pointing towards you. No real way to verify anything about it. So it's a little complicated, but for $54, which is what I spent for it, I can't complain too much. Now, if this is the camera I'm going to use for some comparisons, it's a Panasonic Lumix DMC ZS35. It will let's swing up and become a selfie camera, just to have something to compare. That's just a case for another camera there. We're just at a picnic area. You can see, that way you can kind of see how well does this thing work. This is Leslie Groves Park in Richland, Washington. At a picnic table. You've got a swimming beach here. It's a little cold. The water hasn't warmed up in the Columbia River that soon. By August or so, this will be fairly warm. But we got people are having fun here. It's a pretty nice day. You can get rid of the timestamp and such by going into the settings. I leave it on because that's what I want to do for using it in the car. This is the G1WH. It's very small. It's got the micro SD port is right on that side. That's where the cable goes that hooks it up to the USB. It's got an audio out. It's got a rocker switch right there that says on and off on the left, close to the lens, and on the right is where you turn the camera on and off. In the front, of course, you see this very small thing and a light, and I think a microphone. Back is the screen with 4 different controls that are complicated. As you can see, the reflection, the glass is reflecting, and this end is an HDMI port. I think it's a mini HDMI, and there's a reset button. This little thing I'm holding on to is actually part of the mount for the car. It slips off right there. There's the back display. I'm trying to get it so that you can see it. There's the back display. While being handheld, you can see lettering all around. It's telling you it's up at the upper right corner. It's telling you that it's in 1080 Full HD. It's down at the bottom is the date and time, the battery control, everything else. And if I'll go turn it on, and now it's turned on. You can see the flashing red light at the upper left. That means it's actually videoing. So these 2 videos are being swung around at the same time. We'll see how that comes out. And now it's turned on. You can see the flashing red light at the upper left. That means it's actually videoing. So these two videos are being swung around at the same time. We'll see how that comes out. These are the G1WH on the left and G1W-C on the right dash cams. They're both very similar. The knob on the top is actually just the mount, and it can be removed by that little thing, but it's a little flaky, so I didn't try to remove it. They're not very big, as you can see. They're very similar. The backs are very similar. The differences in colors and things. You'll notice this one says menu, and this one says record, because if you look on the top of this one, it's got the record, and this one has an M for menu. So there's a little bit difference. Otherwise, they're very, very similar. The Dash C model has a capacitor and supposedly has 20 degrees less wide angle, and the other one has a battery. So I can show, I can turn on that one, and it comes on, makes a little noise. It's showing this lovely picnic table and the bathhouse in front of me, and it's showing the battery is low battery, so it's saying goodbye because it's hasn't been plugged in for a while. This one here is with a capacitor. You really don't turn it on, but I'll show it by using this external battery pack. As you see the controls, the micro SD card goes in the left, the mini USB plug, which goes in the top, of which there's a long one, an AV jack goes in, out goes there, and this end is an HDMI port, which I have not tried. But if I plug in this external battery pack into the C model, it comes on. You notice it one says black box. You can kind of a reflection of me trying to do it, showing the same lovely thing out there. The display is giving you all kinds of lovely things. The flashing red light on the back, on the upper left corner, is saying it's recording. There's a little microphone thing right underneath in the middle of the top. The unrecording is saying how long it's recording for that particular video. It's doing 1080 full HD to 1080p. Down the bottom is the date and timestamp, so you can tell it's the 28th of June 2015, about 1:52, and you can see the flashing thing saying battery, but that's the way it is. Now I'll disconnect this so you can see it shut down. Whoops. That's you can watch it shut down. There. You can watch it shut down now. It shuts immediately down when the power is disconnected. That's the C model. Here's the H model, which has a so you can get a view of my lovely camera being reflected off it. You can see everything's the same. It makes the same lovely noises, but when I turn it off, it'll take a little longer as the battery runs down, and it will shut itself off. Goodbye. So that's the great demo of the two cameras in action.